Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, one Blue Beetle that we're building got test driven today, but it wasn't the 64. It was actually the 69 that we're building with our partner Leo. He's doing the EV, all the EV wiring and wizardry that goes on with that. And so this car has been living over in Octavio's shop next door to us. Sorry for all the noise, somebody's using compressed air out here. Anyway, so yeah, he has a spot in Octavio's shop with a lift, and he's been working on it over there. That's why you haven't seen this car in our shop. But this car actually got driven today a few times. He took it out on the road, and I drove it around in the parking lot. I'm going to put up a YouTube short a little later of this thing kind of like barreling through the parking lot here. And I haven't driven it or rode in it yet, but Leo said this thing is fast. Like, he kept going on and on. I believe him. That's quite a bit of motor. That's 120 horsepower, but I think it's like 170 something foot-pounds of torque. So this thing should be quick. And it's got the wheels and tires to match. Big ass brakes all around. So this car is going to be done pretty soon. Obviously we have to put the lids back on it. We've got to finish building the driver's side, or excuse me, passenger side door. Put the rest of the interior in it. You can see some of it's in custom leather interior we did for this car. Obviously it needs a steering wheel. This one's kind of cool, but you know, it's super ugly and old looking. But yeah. So anyway, this car is come along, and it'll probably be back in our shop in the next day or two. And I think Leo's got a few things left to do on it, but for the most part it's going to be living with us again until it is ready to go to its owner. So didn't test drive the 64 today, but the 69 EV did get test driven, so at least one blue car got driven today. So let's see what we did here today in our shop. So again, Leo worked on the EV Bug, took it for a joyride. Thing is super fast, and it'll be coming over here soon for us to finish a few things, and we need to test drive it a lot before it goes to the owner. The 64 didn't get driven today for a variety of reasons, none of which were its fault, or our fault for that matter. Just kind of a busy day. I'll go into that more later. But the 64 got its pop-outs installed today, and they look amazing on there. Super appropriate for this car, even though it didn't have them as purchased. We thought it would be a good and worthwhile upgrade, and very appropriate for a 64 Beetle to have pop-outs. They would have been a dealer installed option. Did not get its wheels and tires today. Tires, as you guys saw, are here, but let me talk about the wheels for a second. So we had our painter do this pinstripe. I think I mentioned it, kind of around the outer edge of the rim, and he did his best. He masked it off and painted it. It didn't look good. It was very like wavy and irregular. So we had a guy out today who specializes in pinstriping and hand painting and stuff. He came out and he did all these by hand, and they look amazing now. Super even. Amazing that somebody could do this by hand. I swear the guy could have been a brain surgeon. So anyway, so those are all done now, and I'm gonna let those dry overnight tonight, and then tomorrow these will go in the building next to us, tire shop there. They'll get their Firestone bias plies mounted, and then they'll go on the car. So getting there. The other thing was that the trunk liner went in today. We had Eddie Collins over at Eddie and Dave's garage pick that up for us. A little piece of dust there. Can't have that. There we go. Yeah, and we got a toolkit for it, and we had him bag made out of the same material as the upholstery. So something we thought was a nice little touch here to do the tool bag in the matching material for the seats. It's this very rare pinstripe material. So cool little detail there. So those are the main things that happened on this guy today. So maybe tomorrow I'll take it for a drive. We'll see. Other than that, this bus got got a new turn signal switch. So Wolfsburg West took the turn signal switch back that Rafa and I suspected had some issues, and lo and behold, it had issues. So we put it in, and then we put in a new NOS 6-volt flasher, and everything works beautifully now. So that pretty much takes care of the wiring on this guy. This bus here, the 64, I did get its custom e-brake cables back today, made by BC Wire Rope. I mentioned them the other day, so they did a really nice job. So these cables, I basically used the housings that came with the disc brake kit because they have kind of a special end on them here. But then I had new cables put in with the ends on them here that I got. And then at the same time, I had new cables made for the what do you call it, for the buggy. So these are actually just stock cables for that year, but shortened by 14¼ inches, which is how much a pan is shortened for a buggy. So yeah, I picked up some parts today. So this appears to be the back to the 64 Beetle. This seems to be the dealership that Beetle was originally purchased from, and they did have the frames for it. One of them was in pretty bad shape, but the other one is actually really nice. So we're gonna have this re-chromed, and then the same guy who did our pinstriping on those wheels, Kent Garcia. So if anyone needs any pinstriping or hand painting done, this guy is like a wizard. Give Kent a call. So anyway, I'm going to have these re-chromed, and then he's going to redo all the paint in here. So it's kind of like actually you can see it a little bit better on this one that I cleaned it up, kind of like a slate blue in here. And then the actual lettering is kind of like like an off-white, and then obviously the rim and everything chrome. So we're going to do the back one. We usually only put the back plate on a car. The car will has a pair of plates, so we can get it registered with those plates, which are the original black and yellow plates for this car. And then Kent is actually going to restore the license plates as well. So that's another thing he can do if anyone needs that done. So again, Kent is your guy for that kind of thing, and he's our guy for that kind of thing now too. Used him for the first time today, and I'm a big fan already. So he's also doing some graphics, again, which I'm keeping a secret, for the engine tin of the back there red cowlook car. I did manage to get onto this guy a little bit today and accomplished a few things here. So one of which is that I did finally put on his front turn signal housings. I had to get a little creative with the hardware to hold those on because the nuts were not present, and so I used the little like sheet metal nuts for the rear apron, the nuts that are kind of like flat sheet metal like this. They kind of slide over something, you know what I'm talking about. And then I had to like grind the little supports for those a little bit. You know, this is all stuff inside there. So yeah, I had to futz around with those a little bit, but these are attached now, and they're wired up. So tomorrow I'll put the lenses on them. I just had to get the bulbs. So yeah, a little bit of work here. And then I started figuring out some of the ventilation system here. So kind of test fitting one of these flaps. I've got the seals on order for these. And then likewise started kind of cleaning up and restoring some of the little levers and rods. I mounted this control bit right here, and you know, just kind of mocking things up, testing things, seeing what I need. Ordered a bunch of parts from Wolfsburg. So yeah, I'm really going to try and get back on this bus here and start making some progress on this thing. It's been sitting kind of unloved for a while, and I'm feeling pretty guilty about it. So trying to really focus a bit more of my attention on this bus so we can get this thing going for this guy who's a really nice guy, the customer, Mike. And so that's pretty much it for today, with the exception of Jacob was in for a while. and he's been doing more test fitting of his engine tin, test fitting and trimming, so you can see his breastplate here. He's been trimming it, got it fitting pretty nice actually. I think we're like almost there. And then once all his tin is fitted, then it'll go off for powder coating. And as soon as all the paint and stuff work back here is done, then we'll put his engine back in. And again, a couple upgrades, some little dual carbs, and then a little merged exhausts with dual pea shooters on it. So got some little upgrades for him while he's got his motor out. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow.